Okay, so the next concept we're going to go over is interest rate parity. And I'm going to just do this straight with an example. And the formulas are almost identical to the purchasing power parity formula, except now we're going to use interest rates instead of inflation. So the question says, it takes 2 Brazilian real to buy $1 Canadian. Interest rates are 10% in Canada and 5% in Brazil. What's the 1-year forward rate? Now the formula, let's start with that first. The formula is going to be 1 plus the foreign rate over interest rate plus 1 plus the rate in the home country to the power of t is equal to the forward at time t over the spot rate. So almost identical. The only difference is that RFC is equal to the interest rate of the foreign country. Okay, and then RHC is equal to the interest rate in the home country. So let's just plug the numbers in straight from this example. So in this case, again, home country is Canada. Brazil is the foreign country. So we have the home country interest rate is 10%, and the foreign country interest rate is 5%. The time is 1 year into the future, and the spot rate is 2 right now. So let's plug all of these in. So 1 plus the foreign interest rate of 0.05 divided by 1 plus the home interest rate of 0.1 to the power of 1, because we're going only 1 year in the future, is equal to the forward at time 1 over the spot rate, which is 2.0. Okay, so if I rearrange that, I get that the forward 1 year from today is going to be 1.05 over 1.10 to the power of 1 times the spot rate of 2.0. And if I multiply that out, I get 1.909. So therefore, I can conclude that the 1 year forward rate is 1.909 Brazilian real per $1 Canadian. Okay, and that is if interest rate parity holds. Okay, so essentially what this illustrates is that in the purchasing power parity case, that inflation rates or exchange rates will change as inflation changes between two countries. Either one of the countries, as long as inflation changes, it'll have an impact on exchange rate. And interest rate parity says if interest rates change in either of the countries, it will also have an impact on the exchange rate. So that's why it's so difficult to predict exchange rates in the future. These are just two factors. So if everything else stayed the same, you would have to be able to predict the inflation rate in both countries and the interest rate in both countries. So that's 4 variables. But then in the real world, you add in things like gross domestic product, the supply and demand for your currency based on your trade, imports and exports, and all kinds of political events. You can see you're trying to predict dozens, if not hundreds of variables, and you have to get them all right in order to predict future exchange rates, which is why it's so difficult for people to do so.